Ladies and gentlemen, and NFL sports fans all around the world, we are back with another episode of the Cowboys Chronicles. We are the Talking Sports podcast, and we're back recapping our Dallas Cowboys after a 28-25 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. And this is three straight losses at home after winning 16 straight, and it just doesn't seem like we have any answers at the moment.
Yeah, I think we have some answers. We just don't have the answers to turn them into wins. And one answer we have is the same answer, which is a problem really that we had last year. We can't stop the run. We saw with the Saints, they ran the ball very well on us. We couldn't stop the run, and then obviously we see Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I think they had between both of them and all the other running backs, 250 plus yards rushing, and that's unacceptable. Um, and I think that was really the key to the game is that the Cowboys, our run defense is just not good.
Yeah, no, it's not good, and we thought that we brought in Mike Zimmer to change things, and when you change your defensive coordinator, sometimes that's not even the answer. If you don't have the personnel to stop the run, you won't be able to stop the run. And we brought in, excuse me, Eric Kendricks, and Overshown is basically a rookie. We got another rookie in Liafu, I think his name is. But there's only so much rookies can do, and Eric Kendricks, he's been in the league for a long time. We don't know how well he is as far as his stamina, his production levels and things like that. So it's just difficult to watch, and you can't get down, you know, 20 plus points and expect to win despite the comeback. It's just almost impossible.
Right, right. Especially if you can't stop the run because that's clock, you know, great clock management for any team who can run the ball, especially if you're up. That's what you want to do. You want to run the ball so you can run the clock as well. And we see that Dallas, ran out of time basically, and then obviously couldn't stop that last first down, which cost them at that point. But you talk about Kendricks, though he had the most tackles, and so I think he's been productive, which is great. But then we just need others, to really be able to plug in the gap, fill the holes, and be there to stop the run.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just make this petition right now. I'm gonna put it out there. This video is going to be up on YouTube. I'm gonna post it to Twitter. Anybody that sees it can comment and tell me what you think about this. But Micah Parsons needs to be moved to linebacker. I think it needs to be a permanent change in his position. I think he needs to move from defensive end to linebacker. I think he needs to go. That was his position in Penn State.
Right.
That's why he was so productive in college. That's why he got so much recognition and became a star in that group because he was a linebacker. He was able to stop the run. He was able to use his speed and his athleticism to, move around and wreak havoc all over the field. And they're pigeonholing him to one position, and it's easy to scheme for him if he's in one spot. And it just
Right.
doesn't make sense to me. So that's my petition, to put out there that Micah Parsons needs to be moved to linebacker.
Right. Yeah. And even with that, you can still put him in a blitzing type situation when the play calls for it, because they put him over the center, and just in the fourth quarter, and he was able to get around the center easily
Right.
and to force Lamar Jackson to he got to knock them down, but he forced him to throw the ball sooner than when he really wanted to throw it, which I think was fourth down at that point. So you can still do that. You can put him at linebacker, and then if you call a play for all out blitz, or then he can definitely do that.
Yeah, and he's athletic and fast enough to cover linebackers and tight ends
Tight
and
ends.
those shallow crosses that
Mhm.
NFL teams run. He can cover those. He's fast enough to do that. He
Right,
almost he almost tracked down Lamar Jackson when he scrambled out in the flat. And so he has the speed, he has the athleticism. It's just a matter of the defense and the coordinators putting him in the best position and being able to stop the run. I just think he's good enough to be able to plug those holes quickly and force things to change and shift and just not having wide open gaping runs for 6, 7, 13 yards a game. And so it's frustrating as a fan when you have somebody talented enough, but they're just not being put in the right spot.
right. Well, hopefully Zimmer will figure that out. Hopefully he'll figure that out.
Yeah, and Micah is talking to him, and they're having conversations throughout the whole game. And I don't know what Micah's saying. We're not privy to that information really, but it's got to be something. There's got to be a change somewhere somehow.
Right, right. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, I think if we can look at some positives from this game, well, you got to talk about the comeback, right?
Yeah,
Think that, I mean, you look at the comeback, but then even on the sidelines, you had Dak and
CD.
CD, yeah, beefing at each other. So, I
Yeah,
mean, you don't know what that's all about. But you know, CD, I mean, he still had, I think, 6 catches, I believe, and maybe, um, you know, probably about, I think, maybe 40, 50 yards. Uh, um,
yeah,
yeah, maybe a little bit more than that, because I think his longest run was 31. And so, but the fumble in the red zone, that's unacceptable by CD Lamb. I
yeah.
mean, really, really, any wide out, but if you call yourself the number one, you got to play better than that. You got to mentally be tough and ready. You're in the red zone. You're a couple of yards from goal line. You know that you're covered by DBs and safeties. You got to cover up right there. You
Right.
know, so, but I think the comeback was great. I think they really should be able to say, "Hey, we know we can do offensively. We know we can do offensively." And I think what the Cowboys are going to have to do, they're going to have to start fast. They're going to have to start fast because they're allowing these other teams to get up on them, and we're not the greatest comeback team. And so we got to start fast.
Yep. Start out throwing the ball, and we've never really been a great running team, but I think, like you said, we have to start fast, and I think that means starting out throwing the ball,
Right,
5 wide, hurry up offense, getting Dak in rhythm quickly, getting CD and him in a rhythm quickly, and then you can start to run the ball after that. So you know how most teams they want to set up the pass with the run. We're the opposite. We need to set up the run with the pass.
right,
We don't really have the running personnel to really do that. And we saw that again today with barely any rush yards. Um, but like you said, Dak played well. Whether you want to call him empty stats, that's fine. He typically when we're down, we have to throw the ball, and most teams are playing, the cover two, drop coverage, things like that. So things are going to be more open.
right.
So stats will be there, but yeah, we have to start better. We just have to start better.
Stop better.
And we don't have much of a turnaround because we Cowboys play Thursday night in New Jersey against the Giants in a
Mhm.
divisional matchup. Um,
Right. Right.
so
Well, before we move to that game,
yeah,
let's got to give a shout out to Ferguson. Welcome back. His first game had most catches, had the most yards. I think he almost had 100 yards. And so hats off to Jake Ferguson, man. He played well, and so we definitely need him.
yep,
We need him, and you can see obviously he made a difference in the game. And so hats off to Jake.
yep, and also our kicker, Brandon Butter Aubrey. He hit a
Right.
65-yarder tonight, which I believe is the longest in franchise history.
Hmm.
So
And
big
1 yard from tying NFL history.
yep, yep.
Right.
So shout out to him for that record. He's I think the stat is 14 of 14 or maybe 15 of 15 with 50 plus yard field goals in his career. So that's
Right.
an amazing stat.
Right. Yeah. And I'm glad that we're really. I would like for us to see us use Deuce Vaughn a little bit more, but I like the fact that we are using Turpin. We are using Deuce Vaughn. I just like those two small guys. They're fast. They're quick. I think we should, maybe use them more because they can really give us some good production, get us some good yards. And actually, yeah, of course, Turpin got a TD. So
Right.
so that's hats off to him.
Yep. Now, question for you: What we have Dalvin Cook, we have him. He's on the practice squad. We have not called him up as of yet. What do you think the holdup is for Dalvin Cook and getting him on the roster, on the active roster?
Yeah, I just think, well, Rico, he's number one. So he started today on this game here against the Ravens. He started, and then I think they just got a love for Zeke. I think they just really love Zeke. I think Jerry Jones loves Zeke, and
Mhm.
and so I think maybe that might be just something that is holding uh, the team. McCarthy and them really bringing up Dalvin Cook from the practice squad because one of them is going to have to. I mean, you either going to be um, Deuce
Duke.
Vaughn,
Yeah.
Rico, or Zeke. I mean, not going to be Rico because he's number one back. So one of them are going to have to got to go to the practice squad, and so I think that's the reason why I would say, but could be wrong.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that does make sense. And our fullback, Lepke, he played pretty well today. He had some
Mhm.
catches and some rushes. And we need a fullback because we do a lot of I formation and
Right.
strong and weak formations as well. So we use our fullback a lot, to be quite honest. And so we can't take him off the squad.
That's right.
So, but yeah,
Right.
yeah, I was just curious about that and your thoughts on that. That would I don't know if it would help in the run game, but he is another back. And I'm curious to see how he is. And he may not be any better than Zeke is at this point, but
Right.
maybe we're just, keeping him just in case somebody gets injured, something like that.
Exactly. And Zeke didn't play a whole lot this game at all
He didn't.
against the Ravens, and so who knows what we'll see Thursday night as facing the Giants.
Yep. And so moving on to that game, the Giants actually won their game today
Mhm.
against the Browns, and so they're going to be going into their home game against us on Thursday night, riding the wave and getting their first win of the season. And so, how do you see that matchup playing out?
Yeah, I know we're at the bottom of the division now. So we got Philly leading the division, and I think Washington is second in the division, then Giants, and then us. And so I think Washington still has to play. But yeah, I think the Cowboys. we own the NFC East. I don't know if that will be any different this year. I think we just have a lot of confidence. I think Dak plays with a lot of confidence when we play our divisional games.
Yeah.
So I think it will be much the same. They're always tough games, obviously, but I do think that we will come out on top against the Giants Thursday night.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we'll play better. I think the defense will play better. I do believe, well, I know that we have to stop Malik Neighbors. We can't allow him to get the two touchdowns like he did today against Cleveland. We have to slow him down. We have to force turnovers. We have to get sacks. I just think that the defense needs to play a whole lot better overall.
Right.
And if we do that, we'll be able to come away with the win.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I also too believe that, like you said, that we got to make some changes defense. I mean, we're missing Deron Bland.
Hmm.
Of course, we're starting a rookie, and he's, you know, at times he gets torched, you know.
Yeah.
But so Bland, I think, will help us when he's back. So I think he's about a couple more games away from being back. But so obviously that will help. And then just the changes, man, coming out and just being mentally tough. I think the Ravens mentally, obviously defensively, just a tougher team than us.
Yeah.
And I think really that kind of mentality really for 3 quarters really just kind of weighed on us. And then at that point, things became desperation. And so we had to start trying to do things differently offensively to try to get some points on the board.
Right.
But I think we need to develop some really mental toughness on the field and just not allow these teams to just manhandle us and not outdo us like that. That's just not good.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about that. And so hopefully, we'll be able to do that against the Giants again. Short turnaround, after playing Sunday, we got travel to New Jersey and play the Giants on Thursday night football. So that will be, one of the marquee matchups on a Thursday night. Typically, those games aren't as entertaining, but with the Cowboys and Giants and that rivalry, it should be pretty fun matchup. I know that we'll be watching. Hopefully, you'll be watching. Last thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, I think that our season is we're looking like well, looking at the schedule, the first 4 or 5 games are the toughest,
Mhm.
and we can see that we run it up against some tough teams already, and it's looking like just the last couple of years have been looking that we can't beat the playoff type teams,
Yep.
and so those teams are going to be over 500. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to beat them. If we continue to operate in the NFC East the way we do and beating the NFC East teams, then again, we're probably looking at an 8-8, 9-8 season. So hopefully, Philly will not be as good as well, and so a win in the division will be a toss up.
Yeah, yeah, it's I think you said NFC least and it's on the board. It's on the board. Philly, they didn't look great today. And so of course we lost. So NFC least is on the board. We all have tough schedules. We all have to go against some pretty good teams in other divisions and of course the AFC, the other conference as well. So yeah, that's definitely on board, and so we shall see what happens. We will be back with another episode of the Cowboys Chronicles right here on the Talking Sports podcast. Like the video, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell so that you see all of our content that we're posting. Also, follow us on Twitter at TSPJDN, where you see up to the minute um, content and also our posts that we post there as well. But let us know what you think about the game. Give us all of your thoughts, opinions, and takes, and we'll be down there commenting with you all. And until next time, see you guys again. Thanks.
He's out. Cowboy Nation.